Toyworld TW-F09 Freedom Leader. On Toyworld's Weibo account, they were showing some amazing images of their third-party take on pretty much Optimus Prime's appearance at the end of the Transformers Bumblebee movie. Spoiler at this point, really the Blu-rays are out now, but Optimus Prime's in the movie, and he's at the end of it in a very G1 looking way. And this thing looks great because the only other take that we really have of this character is the Studio Series one, and that's kind of, limited from the Studio Series budget and everything.
Yeah.
So this is something that's a much more like 3A. You know what I mean? Like it's something that it transforms, but it looks like it scales more with cuz what they have in the photos here is they have it with the 3A Bumblebee. 3A being that non-transforming, fancy deluxe sideshow toys level-esque kind of Transformer product. So it looks really, really cool. It transforms. It's that masterpiece level kind of quality. And it works. It works a lot. It looks really nice. And they even had footage online too, kind of showing how it works and everything. So this is really cool. The scale, again, with stuff that you would own, that's where it becomes a bit of an issue, because I was looking at it and I'm going okay, so they have the photo here with the 3A. Not a lot of people are going to have a deluxe 3A Bumblebee. That's something that's $200 to $300 for a non-transforming Bumblebee figure. So you just kind of go The problem with the Bumblebee movie was it really didn't have a lot of larger figures that were pretty looking. There is larger figures, but they're the gimmicky larger figures. It's here's Shatter in her one step change oversized version. So it's not something that it would work with. But I mean, on its own, it looks great. It's just when you put it with other stuff, it kind of is it's like a leader class. It just dwarfs over everything. In a toy line that really doesn't have good large figures. Even the deluxes are weak. And then when you go into the Studio Series stuff, everything is trying to be to scale with each other. It's all deluxes. So it's a tough one for where you would put it in your collection. But if it's a standalone piece, it works out well.
Yeah.
If you put it in your Studio Series stuff, it's going to look like you're putting
too big.
Well, they have a really good photo here of in alt mode next to Studio Series. It looks like Stinger, I think it is here.
Yeah, it's Stinger.
Yeah, and I'm just going see, that's why. It's like having a leader class toy next to, at a time when stuff really wasn't to scale with each other with a deluxe, and you just go, wow, okay. So, looks cool. Looks great. I really like it. The color version is probably going to be spectacular. I mean, again, we always say gray prototype resins always look sexy, but this is something in color is probably going to look cool too, but I really don't see where this would fit in someone's collection if they have cool displays that are bunched with characters.
I just have one thing about it that's kind of putting me a little bit off. When it's in its alt mode, I find the back end of the truck is just way too long, and there's no way to compress it. You know what I mean? I'm looking at where the gas tank is, and I'm like, if you could just squish in the legs a little bit more just to make it a little bit more compact. It just feels like the legs are too long.
It seems like it's a byproduct of having this Optimus with very long legs and looking very very powerful, and it works.
I mean, I think it translates pretty well to be how you'll see in one of the pictures here where it's in the cab mode, it's in the alt mode, and you have it standing up, and then it's next to the other Last Night Optimus Prime, and his legs are a bit chunky, but it still kind of has that svelte, he doesn't have boots is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
He in the Last Night version of Optimus Prime, I don't think of his calf's muscles kind of being boots. I just think of him actually having calf muscles.
Yeah, I hear you.
He put the time in the gym. He didn't skip leg day this time around.
It's I totally see what you mean, and it's I think another thing too that kind of bothers me is just that it looks like part of it. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to tell without the colors, but I'm kind of you can see what's being used for clear plastic and what isn't, and I'm kind of going how is that going to be painted, and it's gonna chip in some areas because that chest area like how it's going to transform. I'm always worrisome when you have it, any toy really, when you have clear plastic and then it's painted over.
Yeah.
It's always fragile, and because it's used for the chest area here, primarily, because again, when you see it in the resin prototype, you get a really good idea of how things are going to work in the secondary stage when it comes to painting. And so I'm kind of going like, oh man, like I don't know about that. And third party sometimes is hit or miss. I don't want to like throw people under the bus, but sometimes they're hit or miss when it comes to QA and quality assurance. So
can I also point out something else I'm noticing in these pictures? In the background, there's a Ravage.
Yes.
Just slinking around in the background.
That's I don't know what that one's from actually. That's funny.
It looks like a prototype, but it doesn't look
Yeah.
like it's colored in or anything, at least to my knowledge. But
it's from something else.
it's just in the background and
just chilling there.
I'm like looking through the chats here. Well, not the chat, the message board. And I'm trying to see if anyone's mentioning it, and I don't think they are. Or, there's other pictures, other poses of this Optimus with his weapon kneeling down.
Some people taking like we'll post what's the individual here that did a color mock-up.
Yeah.
Like what's his name? Let me just check here so I can Skywarp -2.
Yeah, but he just posted it. I don't know if because I'm seeing when it says Chebs, where it's like the alt mode is colored in.
Oh, Chebs. Maybe it's Chebs then.
Yeah.
So like some individuals they kind of did their own little like Photoshop mock-ups, and I mean it looks great in colors, but I mean that's Photoshop. It always looks different in real life. So definitely it's cool. It's just again, I don't know where this would fit in. I mean, if you, in all honesty, again, if you were a 3A collector, then this makes sense. But I almost feel like 3A would probably do something officially of this one day. So definitely check it out. Let us know what you think. It's probably going to be a hefty product and price.
Yeah, exactly.
But let us know what you think about this guy.